He humiliated the new recruit until her classified metal record shut the entire base down. The sun had barely risen over Fort Arrowhead when the buses rolled in, carrying the newest batch of recruits. The air was sharp with early morning cold, and the ground was dusted with frost. Sergeant Mason Hale stood near the parade field with his arms crossed, jaw locked, eyes narrow. He'd been in the Army for 19 years, long enough to believe he had seen every type of recruit: the nervous, the overconfident, the clueless, the hopeless, and the rare one with a spark. He didn't expect to be surprised that morning. The recruits lined up in a shaky formation, some shivering, others trying too hard to look tough. Mason scanned the rows until a small figure caught his attention. A woman, maybe mid-20s. Medium height. Quiet posture. Eyes focused straight ahead. He didn't recognize her, but something about her calmness irritated him. New recruits were supposed to tremble, hesitate, or at least look unsure. She didn't. He walked toward her with heavy boots striking the gravel. "You," he barked. "Name." She didn't flinch. "Recruit Elena Ward, Sergeant." "Ward," he repeated, eyeing her. "You look like you took a wrong turn from a yoga studio." A few recruits snickered. Mason forced a smirk. "What's your story? You want to find yourself? Need a personality? Hoping for free college?" "No, Sergeant," she answered simply. "Then why are you here?" Her jaw tightened slightly. "To serve, Sergeant." Mason stepped closer until his shadow covered her boots. "We'll see." He walked off, leaving the formation unsettled. He didn't know why he felt the urge to push her harder than the others. Maybe it was her calmness. Maybe it was her silence. Maybe it was that he had never seen eyes like hers in a recruit, steady, measured, but carrying something heavy behind them. The first week of training was brutal. Recruits stumbled, cried, puked, and cursed the cold mornings. But Elena never broke. She didn't shine either, she stayed right in the middle. Mason noticed. During the obstacle course, she finished in average time. During weapons training, she hit targets decently. During endurance marches, she stayed steady but never first or last. She was painfully, strangely, perfectly average. And Mason hated that even more. He called her out on the field one afternoon in front of everyone. "You're holding back, Ward. Either you're hiding something, or you're scared. Which one is it?" "Neither, Sergeant." "Then show me something. Give me a reason to believe you belong here." She looked at him, not defiantly, but with a quiet resignation. "Permission to speak freely, Sergeant?" "Granted. If I show you what I'm capable of, it will change things." Mason laughed sharply. "Oh, will it? What are you, some kind of superhero?" "No, Sergeant." She looked down for a moment. "Just someone who came here to start over." Her answer unsettled him again. That night he looked up her file, but found surprisingly little. Basic background. Civilian. Prior college courses. No military family. No criminal record. Clean cut. It didn't make sense. Nobody was that average. 3 weeks later, the recruits entered the live-fire lane. It was the part of training Mason took most seriously. One mistake could ruin a career, or end a life. He paired the recruits off, and to his annoyance, Elena was without a partner after one recruit fell sick. "Fine," he grumbled. "You run with me." They moved through the course, dirt kicking up, gunfire echoing from the training speakers. Mason kept pace easily, but Elena stayed behind him, covering blind spots, following instructions precisely. Halfway through, a simulated explosive went off, followed by mechanical targets popping up. Mason started to call out commands. But Elena's reactions were faster, too fast. Each target dropped with a single shot. He paused. "Where the hell did you learn to shoot like that?" She looked uncomfortable. "Just practice, Sergeant." But no recruit practiced like that. Not without years of training. Not without muscle memory that came from real experience. After the exercise, Mason watched the footage. Her movements were precise, controlled, efficient, not hesitating, not wasting a single breath. It was textbook, but beyond textbook. It was instinct. It bothered him. The next morning, during inspection, Mason snapped. "You're lying to me," he said loudly as recruits stood tense. "No civilian shoots like that. No civilian moves like that. Who trained you?" She stayed silent. Mason stepped closer. "Ward, answer me." A long, tense moment passed before she whispered, "I wasn't a civilian." The recruits murmured, but Mason silenced them with one glare. "What do you mean?" he demanded. She swallowed, uncertain. "I can't discuss it, Sergeant. It's classified." Mason felt heat rise in his face. He thought she was mocking him. "Classified? You think this is a movie?" "No, Sergeant." "Then what were you? CIA? Secret agent?" he mocked. Her eyes flickered. It was the first time he saw emotion there, pain. Mason scoffed. "You know what? You're done here. I don't have time for liars." He turned to dismiss her from formation, but a sudden voice cut through the air. "Sergeant Hale." Major Reynolds, the base commander, stood behind him. Recruit Ward stepped forward. Elena obeyed. Reynolds handed Mason a sealed folder. "You're going to read this. Alone. Right now." Confusion swirled in Mason's stomach. He walked into the office, shut the door, and opened the file. The first page hit him like a blow to the chest. Elena Ward, former NATO Special Reconnaissance Operative, Level 5 clearances, awards, Silver Star, Joint Service Commendation Medal, EU Coalition Valor Medal, Operation Nightfall Citation, Purple Heart ×2. Mason froze. He read the next lines, hands trembling. Served in covert rescue operations across Eastern Europe. Responsible for extracting 41 civilian hostages. Injured during the Black Ridge ambush. Service record sealed after traumatic loss of unit. His breath caught. Then another note, entered training under civilian status at her request. Seeking rehabilitation and reintegration. Mason sat down slowly. All the moments he pushed her, mocked her, humiliated her replayed in his mind now with a sickening clarity. She wasn't average. She was hiding the incredible weight of her past. She wasn't weak. She was broken, and trying to rebuild. And he had been tearing her down. When he returned to the field, the recruits sensed something was wrong. Mason's voice shook when he called Elena forward. "Recruit Ward," he paused, struggling. The starch pride that always coated his words had vanished. "I owe you an apology." The recruits gasped softly. A sergeant apologizing? Unthinkable. Elena blinked, surprised. "Sergeant, no," he stepped closer. "I didn't know. I should have. I pushed you because I thought you were hiding weakness. But you were hiding strength." His voice dropped, and pain. Something in her expression cracked, not weakness, but relief. Mason turned to the others. "This recruit has served more than most of us ever will. You show her the respect she's earned." But Elena shook her head quickly. "Sergeant, please, I don't want special treatment." Mason looked at her for a long, heavy moment. "Then let me help you earn your place again. Not as the soldier you were, but as the soldier you're becoming." It was the first time he truly saw her, not the quiet recruit or the mysterious shooter, but a young woman carrying ghosts she never asked for. From that day forward, training changed. He didn't go easy on her, she didn't want that. But he no longer tried to humiliate her. Instead, he guided her. He pushed her with purpose, not anger. He helped her channel her scars into strength. And slowly, Elena grew, not into the legend she once was, but into a person again. The other recruits began to gravitate toward her. She listened, helped, taught them small tips she could share without breaking classification rules. She encouraged the weakest recruit during ruck marches. She stayed behind to help others clean their rifles. She offered quiet advice during stressful tests. She was rebuilding, not her military record, but her humanity. One night after lights out, Mason saw her sitting alone under the stars behind the barracks. He approached quietly. "You okay, Ward?" She hesitated, then nodded. I'm learning to be. He sat beside her. You know, strength isn't just what you did overseas. Sometimes it's letting yourself start over. She looked at him with eyes softer than before. That's the hardest part. I know, Mason said quietly. But you're not doing it alone anymore. For the first time since arriving at training, Elena smiled. A small one, but real. By graduation, Elena Ward wasn't a mysterious recruit anymore. She wasn't the shadow of past missions or classified medals. She was a leader, calm, humble, steady. When her name was called, the entire battalion cheered. Even Mason found his throat tightening. As she walked off the stage, she quietly said, "Thank you, Sergeant, for seeing me." Mason nodded. "No. Thank you for letting me." And the base, once unsure, once judgmental, now stood in silent respect for the soldier who had returned from darkness, not to reclaim glory, but to reclaim herself. If my work inspires you even a little, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I truly love knowing that.